About the author, Archibald Joseph Browning lived from 1896 to 1981. He was a Scottish novelist, dramatist, renowned storyteller, and physician. Many of his stories have emerged from his medical career and are noted for his narrative skill and deep social conscience. His first novel, Hatter's Castle, was a roaring success. This made him to give up his medical practice and took up writing as a career. Some of his other novels are The Stars Look Down, The Keys of the Kingdom, The Green Years, The Jute Tree, A Song of Sixpence, A Thing of Beauty, and The Citadel. Most of these novels have been converted to films. His writings are marked by realism and are primarily social commentaries. Browning's narrative skill, his acute observation, and graphic imagery are his major strengths as a writer. This is a poignant story that recounts the tough life chosen by the two young boys, Nicola and Jacopo, 13 and 12 years respectively. The story describes how the two young boys displayed their devotion, sacrifice, sincerity, and maturity in their actions to save the life of their sister, Lucia, who suffers from tuberculosis of the spine. War had killed their father and left them homeless. Like true noblemen, the two brothers worked day and night to earn anything they could without resorting to beggary or unfair means. Their sincerity, diligence, and devotion to a noble cause earned them the narrator's respect. The writer has used the title of Shakespeare's play, The Two Gentlemen of Verona, but Browning's gentlemen are very different from Shakespeare's. Browning's portrayal of these modern gentlemen of Verona redefines the concept of gentlemanliness. He propounds the idea that one can be poor and shabby and still be a true gentleman with magnanimity and nobleness of purpose. The characters in Shakespeare's Two Gentlemen of Verona were as follows. Proteus was a cruel-minded gentleman and Julia was a spare. Julia disguised herself as Sebastian in the story. Valentine was Proteus' close friend and Sylvia was a spare. The Duke of Milan was the father of Sylvia. Antonio was the father of Proteus. Thurio was a rich man who wished to marry Sylvia. Lucetta was Julia's servant and Speed was Valentine's servant. Sir Eglamour was Sylvia's well-wisher and friend. Pictorial representation of the story. Proteus and Valentine were the best friends and were the two gentlemen of Verona. Valentine went to Milan to seek knowledge. Proteus stayed back as he don't want to part his lady love, Julia. Valentine saw Sylvia, the daughter of the Duke of Milan, and both became lovers and decided to elope. In the meantime, Proteus met Sylvia and fell in love with her. With the support of the Duke, Proteus plotted against Valentine, and the Duke warned Valentine to go away from Milan, and he selected Thurio, a rich man, as a bride for Silvia. Valentine reached a forest and became the leader of an outlaw. Julia disguised herself as a man called Sebastian and became the friend of Proteus and Silvia. With the help of Sebastian, Proteus expressed his love to Silvia, but she refused and escaped from Milan with her well-wisher and friend Sir Eglamour. They were captured by the outlaws and were arrested. The Duke, with the help of Proteus, saved Silvia. Proteus tried to molest her and was prevented by Valentine. Proteus accepted his folly and apologized and understood his true love with Julia. Finally, Proteus Julia and Valentine Silvia got married and became the happiest couples in Verona. Shakespeare wrote The Two Gentlemen of Verona between the years 1589 and 1593, that is his early part of life as a writer. And we can consider Proteus and Valentine or Valentine and Sebastian as the two gentlemen of Verona. There is no relationship between Shakespeare's Two Gentlemen of Verona and Cronin's Two Gentlemen of Verona. The settings of the story was Verona and Poletta in Italy. Poletta was situated 30 kilometers from Verona, and Lucia was admitted in a hospital in Poletta. Nicola and Jacopo are children of 13 and 12 years of age, respectively. They have gentleman-like qualities. They consider no work to be menial. They do all sorts of odd jobs to meet the expenses of their sister's treatment. They do all jobs with great sense of integrity. It is the magnanimity of heart and the nobleness of purpose that actually determines whether one is a true gentleman or not. The title matches with one of Shakespeare's early plays, which makes this story sounds all the more important. Justification of the title. In the story Two Gentlemen of Verona, the two orphan boys, Nicola and Jacopo, work immensely and exhaustively. They sell fruits, they shine shoes, sell newspapers, and run errands for the sake of the treatment of their sister. They showcase an unusual devotion towards their work and family. They give an outrageous example of love, care, emotion, and nobility. Crowning shows us that one may polish boots or sell newspapers, but it is the magnanimity of heart and the nobleness of purpose that actually determines whether one is a true gentleman or not. Hence, sarcastically, the title is quite justified. Shrug. Raise one's shoulders slightly and momentarily. Tunic. A loose outer garment without sleeves. Slacken. Reduced. Demeanor. Appearance and behavior. Artless. Innocent or guileless. Hawk. Sell things, crying out loudly, going from place to place. Deserted, uninhabited or unoccupied. Emigrate, take up citizenship of another country. Vexation, annoyance. Vestibule, lobby. Chatter, a series of sharp, quick, high-pitched sounds. Intrude, enter without permission. Rubble, debris or broken bricks. Antonyms: blinked, expected, devotion, apathy, disapproval, compliment, pale, healthy, resemblance, dissimilarity, tangled, unraveled, determinedly, casually. Antonyms: devotion, negligence, exposure, protection, provoke, delighted, shabby, respectable, willingness, reluctance. Who did the narrator meet at the outskirts of Verona? The narrator met two small boys named Nicola and Jacopo at the outskirts of Verona. What was the relationship between Nicola and Jacopo? Nicola and Jacopo were brothers. Nicola was 13 and Jacopo was 12 years old. What were the various jobs undertaken by the little boys? The little boys sold wild strawberries, shined shoes, hawked newspapers, conducted tourists round the town, and ran errands. Why did the driver not approve of the narrator buying fruits from the boys? The driver did not approve of the narrator buying fruits from the boys because he suggested that the narrator could get much better fruits in Verona. The shabby appearance of the boys was another reason. The boys did not spend much on clothes and food. Why? Who was Lucia? What was Lucia suffering from? What made the boys work so hard? The boys did not spend much on clothes and food because they saved their money to care their sister Lucia, who was suffering from tuberculosis of the spine. This made the boys to work hard. How did the narrator help the boys on Sunday? Who took the narrator to the cubicle? Why didn't the boys disclose their problem to the author? The narrator took the boys in his car to Coletta, which was 30 kilometers away from Verona. A trained nurse in white uniform took the author to the cubicle. The boys wanted to keep their problem a secret, so they didn't disclose it to the author. How was the family affected by the war? The children's father was a widower and a well-known singer. He had been killed in the early part of the war. Later, a bomb had destroyed their home and the three children were thrown into the streets. They suffered from starvation and exposure to the cold winter. They had barely kept themselves alive in a sort of shelter they built with their own hands. Nicola and Jacopo were brothers. They did different works to earn money. Lucia, their sister, was suffering from tuberculosis. They spent money for her treatment. Crownin liked them a lot. They did not want anybody's sympathy and charity. They proved their love, devotion, and sincerity.